Okay, gang. In this presentation now we're going to talk a little bit about section 2.2. In section 2.2, this is the algebra of functions, it's called. You may remember that algebra of functions means that you can add them, subtract them, multiply, divide. And the fifth one, do you remember what the fifth one is? Who remembers the fifth one? What's the fifth way to combine functions? You can add, subtract, multiply, divide, but what's the fifth one? Probably the most important of them all. Composition, right? Composition. Okay, that's where composition is, where you substitute one function inside of another function. Okay, remember composition looks like this, right? Right, that little circle symbol in between the two functions. What it means is, right, you just simply substitute one function inside of another function. Okay, so in section 2.2, they've got us doing a little bit of everything. They're going to have us add functions together, subtract them. They're going to have us divide, multiply, all that stuff. They'll have us do a couple of composition problems and so on. But otherwise, this is the section 2.2 is to get us back into the swing of combining functions. Okay, so a couple of examples. In number 20, they give us the two functions. F is equal to square root of x minus 1. And g is equal to x squared plus 1, right? It says find this, right? Well, add them together. Again, just add the two functions together, right? Replace f with the square root of x minus 1 and g with just x squared plus 1. Kids, also notice how I use parentheses to denote those substitutions. Remember back from our pre-algebra days, right? It's good form to use parentheses anytime you're going to make a substitution for one thing for another thing. If anything, when you go back and look at it later, you know what it was that you were thinking, okay? Now, there's nothing in front of the parentheses, so I can drop those. None of this simplifies, so I'll leave it the way that it is. And remember, when we say simplify, kids, we mean like collect like terms. Are there any common factors that can be canceled? You know, that kind of stuff, all right? We're really getting back into the swing of doing math now. All the algebra matters. Everything you ever did in your previous classes definitely matters, gang, okay? All right, a little bit further down, they give us number 26. They give us the function f equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. So g is equal to x plus 3. And it says this time, find this. Okay, find the composition of f with g. So kids, remember what that means. So right here, you have to substitute the function g of x into f of x. Okay, here's what I'll do. I think just, again, like I'll say it over and over again, just so when we go back and look at this later, we know we were thinking. Let me do it symbolically first, okay? Let me actually drop the function g of x into f of x. It'll look like this. Okay? Then, in the next step, actually replace the g of x symbol for what it represents, which is x plus 3. Okay? Then you can expand everything, like I say, collect like terms. You definitely want to simplify the expression. Kids, I'll leave that to you in the interest of space on the whiteboard. But remember, once you do the composition, if the opportunity presents itself for you to simplify the expression, you should definitely do it, okay? The answers in the back of the book will be that way, and that's what the expectations will be for quizzes and exams, okay? Okay. This is number 36. Okay. Gang, for this one, number 36, it gives us this function. Okay, and all of that is raised to the third power. You don't have to multiply it out. What they're saying is find two functions that you can take the composition of that will lead back to this. Now listen, again, what they're asking you to do is the opposite of what you did in number 26. Number 26, you were given two functions and you were asked to substitute one inside of the other. We substituted g of x inside of f of x. We got this expression. What they're asking you to do for number 36 is the composition is already done. It's already finished. What they're asking you to do is take it apart. What are the two functions you had to take the composition of in order to get this? In other words, what function did you drop inside of what function? Okay? So here, I'm going to say this, that polynomial, gang, that looks to me like my g of x. Okay? And so my f of x would be x to the third. Now don't take my word for it. Check it. Okay, is it true? Can I take g of x, drop it into f of x, and get the original expression right here? Check it. Don't take my word for it. Don't be passive, gang. Just don't sit and watch. Got to be a little bit active, right? It's a math class. We got to get something out of this, right? So I want you to check it. Take g of x right here, force it into this, and see if you get back the original function, okay? I've got one more presentation for you, and then that'll wrap up section 2.1 and 2.2. The rest of the examples I'm going to give you are going to be in the form of pen casts, and I'll let you know what that is a little bit in a few minutes, okay?